Will you bow to a computer one day? Hi, I'm Reverend Andrew Bozeman, and this is On the Wings of Your Mind. So my question today is, will you bow to a computer one day? Those who are in and around the world of technology are looking at the future and predicting that one day computers will be so powerful and so fast that they will reach a point where they exceed the capabilities of all human intelligence. All human intelligence. They call that event, when it happens, the singularity. The singularity. They anticipate a time when the super smart, super fast, super capable computers will be the last thing that humans ever invent. Because from that point on, computers will do all the inventing and all the creating and all the building and all the deciding and all the governing. Computers will do it all, and human beings will become, I'm not really sure what they expect human beings to become. But if we view it from the perspective of those in the technology community, I could say human beings definitely will no longer be in charge. That will be the computers. Please click on the thumbs up button, and if you haven't already done so, please choose to subscribe to my broadcast. The subscription button is in the lower left-hand corner. You click on the logo, and the thumbs up button is below. Also, I'd love to hear from you, your suggestions, your thoughts, your questions, your comments. So please use the chat box on the right side of the screen, or you can use the comment section below the video. Look forward to hearing from you. So back to the subject at hand. Excuse me. Of course, for the most part, the technology community does not accept the concept that there exists a higher power, something we call God, a higher spiritual being. Billions of people believe that, but the technology community does not necessarily believe that. They tend to be atheistic, if you will. But part of that, I think, is the way that God has always been depicted all these many centuries. God is that big being in the sky with the beard, the white guy, who's separate from us and who's looking down upon us and passing judgment upon our behavior all the time. But that's not who God is, at least not from this perspective. What we teach here at the Wings of Your Mind is that the higher being is actually higher consciousness. And that higher consciousness is all that there is. That's all that exists. There is nothing else. Higher consciousness is all that is. And we call that higher consciousness infinite intelligence. So my teaching is that everything that exists is an expression of that higher consciousness or an expression of infinite intelligence. Everything that exists is an expression of infinite intelligence. Now, I support this not only by my own experience and the help of the angels and guides who work with me, but I also support this by the emerging realization by theoretical physicists in the world of science we're talking now. And they're coming to the conclusion that the basic state of all matter is consciousness. It used to be that the basic state of all matter was energy. But now there's a school of thought that is working to prove that even deeper than the energy state, there is a state known as consciousness. And everything is expressed or derived from consciousness. So consciousness to energy to matter. Consciousness is the basic. And so in this basic state of consciousness, there is no separation of anything from anything. It's all one. And since it's all one, each and every one of us is an individualized expression of that infinite intelligence, of that consciousness. We are individualized expression of infinite intelligence. So when we think about computers, we're thinking about a physical machine doing physical calculations. Yes, those calculations are happening at an incomprehensibly super speed, but it's still on the physical plane. And those who build those machines called computers and program those machines called computers also view the world as an exclusively physical place. They don't see the spiritual side of it. There's no room in their minds for consciousness or spirituality. Spirituality and consciousness do not compute. Boom. But you know, even when they rise above the level of the circuit board and they begin to explore the idea of something called quantum computing, which uses electrons or protons as the storage devices, they're still thinking in terms of matter, electrons and protons. And all physical matter, it's all physical matter. It's all physical because they need something physical on which to store the data and then retrieve the data and then manipulate the data. They have to have something to store it in. So they need something physical. But hey, each and every one of us is beyond the physical. Each and every one of us is beyond matter. Yeah, sure, we have physical bodies. I'm not denying that. But we are not our bodies. We are not our bodies. We are not our bodies. We are bigger than our bodies. We are not human beings dabbling in the possibilities of what is spiritual. No, it's the other way around. We are spiritual beings who are hanging out in our physical bodies and exploring the experiences and lessons involved in existing on the physical plane. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. We just forgot who we are. That's all. We have forgotten who we are. But once we learn and understand and accept who and what we really are, then this physical world that we live in will become subjective to us. You know, I teach over and over and over again that your life, your reality, is based upon your thoughts, your words, your actions, your thoughts, your words, your action. You are in charge. You are in charge of your reality. You're in charge of your life. The only way someone can override your sovereignty is if you allow it, if you let it happen, if you consent to it. Remember, Eleanor Roosevelt, the wife of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, said, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." Without your consent. Unfortunately, most of us are trained from birth that we are inferior. It's just the way we're trained. So we grow up already accepting and believing that untruth. It is an untruth. So you may have been conditioned from birth, from childhood, to feel inferior, but you don't have to spend the rest of your life believing in your inferiority. You don't have to spend the rest of your life being convinced that you are of no value, or hypnotizing yourself into believing that you cannot be any better than you already perceive yourself to be. You don't have to live that way anymore. From this point forward, all you need to know is that you are an individualized expression of infinite intelligence. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. You don't have to wait for science to tell you that. You don't have to wait for science to tell you that it's okay to be conscious. The mystics have been telling you that for literally thousands of years. That's right, thousands of years. It is written in text after text after text throughout history. Now, many of those texts have been destroyed by those in power who didn't want you to know that you are in truth powerful. They didn't want you to know that. But the truth, just like life, cannot be denied. It sneaks out in places all over. You see grass growing through sidewalks. And we find truth in books hidden all over the place in plain sight. For instance, Psalm 82, verse 6 from the Old Testament in the Bible, it says, I have said, ye are gods, and all of you children, all of you are children of the Most High. I have said ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. I have said ye are gods. Yes. And the truth blasts against the walls of limitation with the words of Jesus in the book of John, chapter 10, verse 34 to 35. Jesus answered them, is it not written in your law? I said ye are gods. If he called them gods unto whom the word of God came, and the scripture cannot be broken. Ye are gods, ye are gods. No one can rule you because you are only subordinate to infinite intelligence who expresses through you, as you. So yes, the singularity is a possibility in the future. I would say it's even probable that one day there will be computers so powerful and so fast that they will outstrip the thinking of any human, combined humanity, any humans can do. Or will it become so powerful that it will rule us and our lives? Hey, I must admit the possibility is also there. Because there are those hidden in the shadows of power who might want to see that, who might want to see a way to control us and our minds. There's a man named Larry Fink. He's a mega billionaire CEO of the hedge fund called BlackRock. Now, BlackRock controls $3 trillion, $3 trillion in assets, and owns a piece of almost every business in existence all the way around the world. And Larry Fink once said, democracies are messy. We like totalitarian governments. Well, hey, they like totalitarian governments. They want control, total control. And what could be more totalitarian than a computer running every aspect of your life? But the truth of the matter is that these people who are pulling the strings and these people who are writing the codes are running their race on a track that doesn't even approach the level of our true spiritual selves. We are above that. Our power is based on an energy and a consciousness that they don't understand. That is love. Machines cannot conceive of love. Markets cannot regulate love. Love is more than just emotion. Love is more than just an energy. Love is the driving force behind life. Love promotes growth. You can see that in the eyes of a child when you give it love. You can see that in the leaves of a plant as it flourishes under the energy of the love you give, and they decay and die. So love is something no amount of coding can create or share. Love is something that no amount of calculation can create or emulate. Love is above all that. Love is above all. As stated in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 4, love suffers long and is kind. Love does not envy. Love does not parade itself, is not puffed up, does not behave rudely, does not seek its own, is not provoked, thinks no evil, does not rejoice in iniquity, but rejoices in the truth, bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never fails. So remember this above all else. You are an individualized expression of infinite intelligence. You are imbued with a consciousness in every cell of your body that is an expression of something that cannot be falsified, it cannot be codified, it cannot be emulated or simulated or recreated. It can only be. That consciousness is love, love, love. I remember the words of a poet whose name I cannot remember. And he said, Earth's gravity is love. It holds us near, most dear. Can the singularity do that? Let's close with prayer. Thank you, infinite intelligence. Thank you for bringing all of us together in this life so that we may become spiritual warriors and join in the work we have come here to do. Thank you, infinite intelligence, for bringing us into this space of awareness and a deeper understanding of ourselves and our relationship to life and infinite intelligence. Thank you for showing us who we really are. We open our minds and hearts to the truth of our being. We are the children of God. We are individualized expressions of infinite intelligence. And because we are part of the greater whole, we're beginning to understand our value to the continuity of life on this planet. As we become channels of your power, infinite intelligence, we can feel your presence within ourselves and within our lives more and more. We know that as we feel your presence within our lives every day, we will rise because we are no longer cut off from you by being immersed in the darkness of fear, anger, and the pain of unforgiveness. So we are now restoring our connection through the grace of forgiveness, knowing that as we learn to forgive ourselves for the pain we have caused to ourselves, and as we learn to forgive those who have inflicted pain upon us, our connections will grow stronger, and our lives will grow happier and healthier and more prosperous. And for this, we are truly grateful. As above, so below. As within, so without. And so it is. Amen. Please click on the thumbs up button, and if you haven't already done so, please choose to subscribe. Thank you very much for listening or watching and spending time with us. Remember, I'd love to hear from you, your thoughts, your comments, your questions. So please use the comment section below. Again, thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you again. My name is Reverend Andrew Bozeman, and this has been On the Wings of Your Mind.